Hey, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the HG Build Divers Re-Rise Seltsam Arms. So this is basically some parts from the Seltsam Gundam that are now available in just a separate weapon set. You got the lance, the shield, folding cannon, and then this massive arm bit that you can use. So you could use this on the Seltsam Gundam to have two of those massive arms. They'd be in opposite colors, but still you could also use them with the Gundam Tertium, with the Love Phantom, or with the GBN guard frame, or with a lot of other different kits, as we'll see some examples in the review. But let's just take a look at the box here first. As always, guys, big thank you to USA Gundam Store for their support, and if you guys want to check out the kit for yourself or anything, the link to USA Gundam Store down there in the video description. Check that out and use my coupon code there, ZakuAurelius10, save yourself 10%. Now also, you'll notice I have two of these because I'm going to be giving away one of them to you. I accidentally picked up two of them. I only need one, so I know some of you will say, well, why don't you use two of them and you can have a custom, but I don't really, I just don't need two of them. So I'm going to give away one of them to one of you guys, and I'll let you know how to win this for free in the end of the video. So make sure you watch until the end, or you could skip if you want, but just watch the video. I mean, it's not that long, right? Watch until the end and I'll let you know how you can win my spare one of these. So just first off, the box art here on the front, pretty simple, pretty basic. Just got a couple examples here, no actual artwork, painted artworks, just photographs of some sample builds there, and then over here there's a breakdown of what we have included. Like I said, three main parts, and then a couple of connector bits in there as well. Taking a look around the sides of the box here, this is number 15 in the line, and then over on this side is just once again a look at basically the same picture. It's on the front of the box there with the Love Phantom, over here with the Goof R35 with some massive, sort of looking like a Hygog in a way, with those kind of really long arms like that. And then the Gundam Tertium is going to be an obvious choice for this. And then also the GBN guard frame, the kit that I often forget even exists. It was kind of forgettable in my opinion. Cool, unique design, but anyway, can use it with that as well. Over here on the opposite side, once again, just a photograph of what's included here, a little introduction about kind of Build Divers Re-Rise. And then the list price is not here on the box, but I believe this kit costs around, it was like around 800 yen, something like that, so not too bad. We got, looks like two runners in here, and they look the same, but they're not quite the same. We'll take a look at those more in depth in a moment, but first off, the manual here. Nothing really too fancy. You pretty much just get right down to business with the construction of this, just building the arm just the same way as what you would do when you're building the Seltsam Gundam. So if you've already built that, you could pretty much just use that manual, just in different colors here. So you got then the lance and then the folding cannon. So that is it. On the inside here, we do also have our color guide there, just in text, but it is in Japanese and English. If you want to check the colors, we do have our parts list here as well, just an A1 and A2 runner. And the rest of this part here on the inside of the manual is just about how to equip the weapons, so how to put them onto the back of some different kits like that, how to use the folding cannon, how it folds out and the handle folds out and all that, how to hold onto the lance with just a regular hand or with the massive monster hand, how to extend the arm, and all that, which we've all pretty much done with the Seltsam Gundam already. So let's get a look at the runner. So here we've got runner A1 in off-white. It's got a slight drop of kind of purple or blue to it, sort of like what we saw with the Gundam Tertium as well. And then just some regular dark blue and then some very dark purple over there for the parts for the cannon and all that. And then like I said, it looks very similar but not quite exactly the same here. Runner A2 is also in three colors. We just got some more parts for the arm mostly on this one, and the other half of the parts for the lance there once again in blue, dark purple, and white. So pretty simple. Let me get this built up and then we'll see how it looks. Alright, so here is what you're going to build. Basically you have three main parts and then a couple of connectors. So we'll first just take a look at the lance here. It's all in white, even the handle when you pull that out like that. So you might want to do some painting on this, unless you want it to be all white, of course. You have some seam line all the way down here and all the way down here until the very tip. This last kind of line running around the edge of there is where this is going to turn into just one solid piece for the tip there, but you got a seam line all the way down there. No surprise with that. Anything like this is HG weapon, especially of this size, you're going to have seam lines in it, but you can just hold on to the main handle like that, or this just can plug up onto the backpack, of course, or just kind of wherever, I guess wherever onto a kit. Using this included connection piece, so you can plug that onto there like that. Now, so like I said, that's meant to be plugged onto kind of sort of the backpack, or it's really kind of wherever, but you have this backpack piece here, which we'll try to use on a couple different kits in a moment, so that'll just be able to plug onto the back of any HG kit that has this 2-peg backpack adapter connection point, but even if you don't have that, I think you could just cut those off and then, just glue this to the back of whatever kit you wanted to. It wouldn't be that difficult to modify if you wanted to put this onto kind of whatever. And then of course we've got the big monster arm, and so this is going to work exactly like it did with the Gundam Seltsam. The 2 kind of thumbs on either side are joined together there in the center, so those will move together, but you can clip them apart and move them individually if you want. On the inside of the hand here, just got a bunch of hollow spaces there. You can actually hold on to the lance with this, onto these connector points down here at the base of the lance. Those can plug into the hand like that, and it's gonna look a bit goofy just with the thumbs just kind of folded over it like that, how they don't actually wrap around it, or the fingers don't actually wrap around it. It looks a bit odd, but you can hold on to that, I suppose, if you wanted to. And then of course this just works with the articulation as it did on the regular kit, so we have a nice kind of articulated joint here at the wrist, and then for its sort of elbow, if you could call it that, it just kind of extends out like that for the extended arm, and then up here at the shoulder you have some rotation there, and this will move in and out, and it just connects into a ball joint there for the shoulder as well. So we have a lot of nice detail on this, but you are going to want to go ahead and paint a lot of that in, especially these piping bits. They look really cool, but just all being in blue, they're just kind of just lost in this just big mass of blue here like that. And lastly, of course, the shield slash folding cannon. So this will fold out again just like the original kit, and then the handle will move up, and you can fold that part up, and then the handle will flip out of there. If you wanted to use the handle with this, you don't necessarily have to, but as you can see, we have a couple of different hard points on here where you could use for plugging that onto something if you wanted to. The beam sabers that were included as just extra parts with the Gundam Tertium could be plugged into here if you are going to be using this with the Gundam Tertium. And then yes, there's the connection arm up here. We'll be able to move that in and out. You can rotate that here. This secondary part of the arm will also rotate, and you can move this little bit here at the end where that is meant to plug onto the backpack as well, onto the opposite side like that, and then let's just go ahead and plug this back on there. Just for illustrative purposes, with both of the things plugged onto the backpack, it's going to look something like that. Now again, you could mix it up, you could change the look of this if you wanted to, but that's how it kind of looks, at least on the back of the Seltsam Gundam anyway. So obviously we need to try this out and see how this is going to look with the Seltsam, as the colors all should match pretty well with this. It's not necessarily technically made for this Gundam, but I assume a lot of people are going to want to use this with this Gundam, something like that. So let's just try a couple quick poses here, one without the giant monster arm and then one with that, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how at least the Tertium Gundam is going to look with this. But like I said, I feel like this is maybe the obvious choice. There's a couple other options we'll just take a look at just for the fun of it. The Tertium Gundam, of course, is going to look great with these because I think they were at least originally part of the design with the Seltsam Gundam, of course, and then just adapting them to this slightly different design in the Gundam is not really going to be that much of a stretch. Adapting these parts to use with other kits that are much different in their design, I think, might be a little bit more tricky, but let's try a couple things here. Now, let's say you wanted to use something like the Earth 3 Gundam here, and now you go to his back, and this backpack doesn't have the same adapter under there, but what you do have included with that kit is you have this adapter piece that you can use with that if you want to use kind of the universal backpack adapter stuff with this. So what you have to do actually first is fold the beam sabers down, then you can attach this over the top of that backpack, and then you'll have to plug your backpack adapter here onto this. So it's going to be a little bit stacked up here at the back, and I actually think maybe it might look a little bit better maybe the other way, upside down, kind of as it were. There we go. And so it's sticking out a little bit a ways from his back there, but we're in business anyway, so we'll just plug this onto here. So as long as you're looking at it from the front, it's not going to look too bad, as long as you don't kind of look at it from the side, or you're seeing that it's like a backpack with an adapter plugged onto that, with an adapter plugged onto that. So it's a little bit wonky, but it can be done anyway. And switching out the arm is simple enough too, because it uses the same ball joint polycap there in the arm, so you can just swap that out, something like that. And so while I'm not sure it's quite necessarily the match aesthetically, at least you guys get the idea. It's a pretty versatile set that you can use, and you don't necessarily have to use all these different segments, the lance, the cannon, the arm, all on one kit. You could separate them out, of course, if you just wanted to use the cannon part, which I think actually fits quite well with this design. Then you could use that and, you know, give the arm to one another kit, the lance to another kit. You can separate it out like that. Alright, so one last example, let's just try this on a 30 minutes mission kit here as well. 30 minute missions? 30 minute missions kit. The 30 minute missions kit, at least the Alto here, are a little bit smaller than your typical 144 scale Gunpla kit, so these parts being kind of large are probably going to look a little bit big on this guy. But even still, I mean, they're large, but I still think they actually do look kind of cool. So let's get them posed up and try it out. And so there we go, pretty cool indeed. Now, like I said at the start of the video, I do have an extra set that I want to give away to one of you guys. Now, here is how you can enter to win that. What I want you guys to do is leave a comment down below and let me know if you had this set. It doesn't matter even if maybe you already have the set or not. Just if you have the set, if you had the set, what is your idea for how you would use it? So tell me, like, for example, you'd make an HG Death Scythe with 2 of the monster arms on it or something like that. Just give me any idea, something related to how you would use this. And you don't even have to give me an example of how you would use all of the parts. Maybe you don't necessarily would want to use the lance, you just want to use 2 of the arms or something like that, 2 of the shields, or just you only want to use the lance, whatever the case may be. How would you use the set if you had it, or how would you like to use the set? So let me know down in the comments down below, and I'll just choose one of them at random. If, for example, the random comment that I choose is not related to this, if it's just something unrelated to that, just something else, then that's fine. I'll just choose a different comment, but I'll give you guys a couple days, and then after that, I'll pick one comment at random, and I'll post about that here on my page and get in touch with whoever the person is who randomly was selected, and then I'll send the kit to them. So that's it for the review, guys. Hopefully that was helpful. It's a pretty cool option set. Definitely check it out if you want to do some customizing on some of your kits. And so, as always, again, thank you to USA Gundam Store as well, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.